Have you ever felt as though you were trying to swim against a torrential flood, your limbs heavy with exhaustion, your breath coming in ragged gasps? Yet the harder you struggle, the further the shore seems to drift away? It is a sense of depletion that perhaps every one of us has tasted, that feeling when we pour all our strength into controlling our lives, forcing everything to go according to our will only to receive disappointment and fatigue in return. Imagine for just a moment that you let go of your tensed hands, stop thrashing, and allow the water to support your body. Suddenly, you are no longer fighting the river. You become a part of it, drifting gently and reaching your destination without a single ounce of wasted effort. That is the moment you touch the threshold of the philosophy of Wu Wei, an exquisite art of living that has existed for thousands of years yet remains the most necessary healing medicine for the human soul in this modern world full of pressure. Today, I want to invite you to join me on a journey of consciousness, not to learn how to do more, but to learn how to do less while achieving more extraordinary results. We live in a society that celebrates busyness as a prestigious badge of honor. From the moment we open our eyes until we fall into sleep, we are caught in the gears of to-do lists, sales targets, and the pressure to succeed quickly. We believe that if we do not sweat and shed tears, if we do not stress ourselves into insomnia, then we have not truly exerted ourselves. But look back at the nature around us. Do the trees and grass need to strain themselves to grow? Do the rivers need to make plans to flow into the great ocean? Does the earth need to struggle to rotate on its axis? The answer is no. Everything in this universe operates smoothly, rhythmically, and completely naturally. That is the core spirit of Wu Wei. Many people, upon hearing the words Wu Wei, are quick to misunderstand it as laziness, an attitude of giving up, leaving things to fate, or sitting idly waiting for luck to fall into their laps. But the truth is quite the opposite. Wu Wei is not doing nothing. It is acting without the interference of an ambitious and demanding ego. Think of a master pianist performing on stage. In their most transcendent moments, they no longer think about which finger must be placed on which key. They do not worry about how the audience will judge them. They and the music become one. Their fingers glide like flowing water. The music pours out as naturally as breath. That is effortless action, the pinnacle of Wu Wei. In that moment, the artist is exerting effort in the most intelligent way, at the most appropriate time, following the flow of emotion and honed skill, rather than trying to control every note mechanically. Our lives often run into trouble not because we lack capability, but because we are too obsessed with results. We are like an impatient gardener who goes out to the garden every day to pull the sprouts upward in hopes they will grow faster. What is the result? Not only does the plant fail to grow, but its roots are snapped and the plant dies. Trying to control or force an outcome often backfires and leads to unforeseen troubles. When we place too much pressure on our shoulders to achieve this or possess that, our minds become agitated and rigid. We lose the flexibility necessary to adapt to the unexpected changes of life. There is a wonderful metaphor about an archer. When he shoots for amusement, his mind is relaxed and his skill reaches perfection. But when he shoots to win a prize made of gold, he begins to worry. He squints his eyes, his hands tremble, and his breath becomes erratic. His skill remains the same, but his focus on the reward, on the outcome of winning or losing, has made him blind and clumsy. This is the tragedy of modern man. We focus so much on the destination that we forget the beauty and necessity of the journey. Letting go of the focus on results does not mean we have no goals. It means we trust the process. We act in the most authentic and complete way in the present moment, then let the results come as a natural consequence. When the mind is no longer bound by the fear of failure or the greed for success, our actions become sharper and more effective than ever. To achieve this wonderful state of freedom, the philosophy of Wu Wei offers two profound concepts: the uncarved block and fasting of the mind, Imagine our primordial soul as a rustic block of wood, not yet carved. It is simple, pure, and contains infinite potential. But over time, society, education, and prejudices have carved that block into distorted shapes of ambition, envy, and the roles we are forced to play. We become complex and distant from our true nature. Returning to the state of the uncarved block is a journey of stripping away those glamorous but heavy layers of casing to live simply and honestly with ourselves, unmoved by the praise or criticism of the world. And to do that, we need to practice fasting of the mind. This is not about abstaining from meat or fish, but about purifying the mind. Our minds are frequently bloated with worries, calculations, and chaotic information. Fasting of the mind is learning how to empty those distractions, removing the arrogant ego and narrow prejudices. When the mind becomes empty and still like the surface of a calm lake, only then can it reflect the world in the most objective and honest way. Only when the personal ego is set aside can we perceive everything clearly. Acting from a state of openness and selflessness allows us to react flexibly and appropriately to every circumstance. Like water has no fixed shape. Poured into a cup, it takes the shape of the cup. Poured into a vase, takes the shape of the vase. Encountering a rock blocking its path, water does not punch the rock. It gently flows around it or patiently wears it down. That is the power of softness, of following nature. Try applying this philosophy to your normal workday. Suppose you are facing a difficult problem in a project or a conflict with a colleague. The usual reaction is to get stressed, try to argue to defend your point of view, or stay up all night trying to find a solution in a state of deadlock. That is you swimming against the current. Instead, try to stop for a moment. Practice Wu Wei. Step back, breathe deeply, and observe the situation like an outsider without judgment, without imposing personal desires upon it. Let go of the intention to win the argument or to solve the problem immediately. Sometimes, the most brilliant solution appears when you are taking a walk, when you are watering the plants, or when your mind is completely relaxed. That is when natural wisdom operates without the violent interference of the will. I remember a story about an old carpenter commissioned to make a bell stand for the king. Everyone who saw his work gasped in amazement, saying it looked as though it were created by the gods. The king asked what the secret was. The carpenter replied that he had no secret. It was just that before starting the work, he spent 7 days quieting his mind. After 3 days, he forgot about rewards and titles. After 5 days, he forgot about the praise or criticism of the world. After 7 days, he forgot even himself, forgot his own limbs and form. At that moment, only the image of the bell stand remained within him. He went into the forest, observed the trees, and only when he saw a tree whose natural shape best suited the bell stand in his mind did he begin to carve. He simply combined his own heavenly nature with the heavenly nature of the tree. That is why the work became divine. That story is the most powerful testament to the power of Wu Wei. When we forget mundane calculations, when we act with purity and high concentration, the results will far exceed all expectations. Modern life is like a rushing river full of rapids. We are taught to steer the boat of our lives vigorously to overcome every fierce wave. But sometimes, wisdom does not lie in how hard one rows, but in knowing when to ship the oars and let the current carry us. Wu Wei encourages us to exert effort intelligently, knowing when to be firm and when to be yielding, when to advance and when to retreat at the right time. It is the art of living in harmony with the flow, not passivity, but absolute alignment with the operating laws of the universe. When you can let go of the burden of having to control everything, you will find that life suddenly becomes much lighter. You will realize that happiness does not lie at the destination, but right in every moment you are living fully. You will work more effectively not because you force yourself to work longer hours, but because you work with a clear mind, unclouded by anxiety. You will love more sincerely, not because you tried to possess another, but because you let love happen as naturally as breathing. So the next time you feel stuck, tired, or pressured, remember the image of water. Do not try to punch the rock. Do not try to swim against the current. Relax, return to the simplicity of the uncarved block, and practice fasting of the mind to wash away the noise in your soul. Trust in the flow of life. Act, but do not exert effort blindly. Let everything happen naturally as it is. And then, you will be surprised to find that when you no longer try to seize the world, the whole world belongs to you in the most complete way. That is the miraculous gift that the philosophy of Wu Wei offers to those who dare to let go in order to have everything.